free-to-play Tier 2 Shiranui deck. The ban list just happens. If you like poppin' with Sun Saga, completely indestructible per Shiranui in the grave, making massive 5,500 attack Shogun Saga, free-to-play Shiranui is for you. This is the best free-to-play deck.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
What does free-to-play mean? Well, in a gacha game, free-to-play means you could get really lucky, but for me, I'm defining free-to-play as only using one box. You're not using any other box for any other resource, not even commons or rares, because you can get unlucky. You could spend a lot of money or a lot of gems digging for rares and commons, so only one box. If it's a main box, no reset. Reset, a lot of people, they keep asking me, how do you get multiple ultra rares? Reset after you're pulling a card you want, you reset the box, and then pull again from it as you get 2, 3 more copies of a card. Now, free to play for a mini box, I allow only one reset. So that means within this box of Soul Resurrection, this is going to be your free to play box for the best free to play deck, you can get all of these cards twice. So either the card is only from this box and only up to 2 times, or it's from other free resources like ranked tickets or leveling up a character completely free. So let's talk about the deck. Shout out to Rezaline, our Shiranui expert in the Discord. Duel Links Meta Discord is the best place for events, discussion, and help. And they've been helping out a lot of people, our deck helpers within the Discord, what to play as a free-to-play. So this is a nice little guide. He doesn't follow my rule completely. That's okay. Like I said, free-to-play is subjective. I have my own rules and restrictions. So you could screenshot this, look at it, boom, boom, boom. These are lots of replacement cards if you're not completely free-to-play. So this is good to have on screen. Replace any of the back row with this. This is also, if you just go to the box 3 times, what your deck could look like if you go all the way in on the box on just the mini box. This is the best free-to-play deck, and before I go on, I want to show you if you want to optimize this, you go to duellinksmeta.com, go to the tier list, click on Shiranui, and then you could see right here the deck statistics of the most popular best way to play, all the ratios, everything. You could even look at a top automated sample deck. You could even look at the latest decks that are doing well with the deck if you want to go further and beyond free to play. But we're going to focus on just free to play. This is how you would move on after enjoying the deck so much, which you will, and if you have the resources to do so. So this deck is all about mostly summoning. Sun Saga on the first turn, 3,500 attack, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects as long as you have a Shiranui in the grave. A ban list just happened, and it limited the Shiranui Squire to 3, which means you can't play other cards like Cosmic Cyclone. That's okay, the deck is still really good without Cosmic Cyclone. But a really good skill that killed this deck, didn't completely kill it, but it would kill it within a duel if it activated, it's been nerfed. So now this deck is even better. You're going to play level augmentation, so you need to unlock this on a 5Ds character. You reveal a monster in your hand to boost up a monster's level on the field. So what does that mean? That's the main way to summon your Sun Saga on the first turn. So you have a card like Squire or Spirit Master. On summon, they're going to summon a Shiranui onto the field. And the Shiranui you want to summon is going to be a level 2. Level 2 tuner plus a level 4 in the field. That's level 6. But because we're playing 7 level 4s, with your level 6 on the field, you're going to reveal a level 4 in the hand, boost up the field by 4 levels. Either the tuner or the non-tuner boost it by +4. Now you can make that turn 1 Sun Saga with 2 Shiranui in the grave, so you're well protected. The main focus beyond that is Spectral Sword. This card is semi-limited to 2 because it is so good. This card is all about synchroing from the graveyard. You want to figure out what's the best way to get this in the grave. Then on the next turn, because it can't be used the turn it's sent to the grave, you want to synchro using a non-tuner. You could synchro using level 6s, a level 8, or level 4s. And what you do is you just simply synchro from your grave. Now it's worth noting in the free-to-play version we're using double Samurai Saga. You could instead use the rare or common Zombie Skull or the revived King Hades in replacement of one of the Samurai Sagas, because the Samurai Saga has a summoning restriction as it can only be summoned once per turn. So that means if you have a Spectral Sword in the grave, you're going to normal summon Squire, summon another Spectral Sword, then Synchro into Samurai Saga. Then with Spectral Sword in the grave, you want to Synchro with your Squire, but you're not able to do so for another Samurai Saga unless you're playing a Zombie Skull or a Revived King Hades. So that is a good option if you have those other cards, but it does not meet the requirements for my free-to-play deck. This still works out very well. Now, the non-tuner that does not summon a Shiranui alongside it, it still summons a Shiranui from the deck. So Solitaire, what's really good about this is you want this in the grave and it searches for your Spectral Sword. You'll tribute it to summon a Spectral Sword from the deck, and then with Spectral Sword in the grave plus your Solitaire, you want to be thinking about this. You have 6,000 damage against an attack position monster. 6,000. If there's no attack position monster, it's 5,500 damage with just 2 cards, a Solitaire and a Spectral Sword. How do you do so? Well, Spectral Sword's going to activate in the grave, banishing the Solitaire to summon a Samurai Saga. Now, when Solitaire is banished, it's going to activate to summon the tuner back on the field. Then you're going to Synchro into level 8 Shogun Saga using the Samurai Saga and the Spectral Sword. This unsummon will banish the Samurai Saga from the grave, gaining its attack. This could banish any monster from the grave, gaining its attack. It becomes 5,500. If they have an attack position monster, by banishing the Samurai Saga, you're going to reduce their attack by 500. So 500 on top of 55, that is 6,000 damage. So that means if they have an attack position monster at 4,000 life that's at 2,000 attack or less, the Shogun Saga play is lethal. Another great way to get cards in the graveyard besides synchroing or them attacking into you is Raigeki Break. This is a card you might not have after going through the box. If you do have it, great. It's such a good card. It's from the box. It does meet the free-to-play requirements. Discard a card, destroy a card in the field. A more free-to-play card to help get your Spectral Sword in the grave is Hollowed Life Barrier. Discard a card, your monsters are protected from battle destruction, and you take 0 life point damage. That's another great way to get even a Solitaire in the grave alongside your Spectral Sword, or get your Spectral Sword in the grave. Now, there's another card for consideration in your free-to-play build, but it breaks my rules, is Samurai Skull. It's only a rare from another box. A lot of people are using Gazuki if you look at the top tier list on the Duel Links Meta website, and Samurai Skull is a pretty decent replacement for Gazuki if you want to also add that in your deck. But just focusing on this deck, you want to know that you could also play Dragon's Mirror. Dragon's Mirror banished 2 Shiranuis from the field or graveyard to summon a Nether Soul Dragon, 3,000 attack. This card is amazing. You attack into a monster, they become 0 attack. You summon a token equal to the attack of their original attack, and then you attack over with the token. That is crazy. Now, another aspect to this deck, if you get lucky enough to pull a Squire Saga within going to the box twice, which you should be able to get, Squire Saga is normally not played in the top tier decks. Some do play it. The thing is, Shiranui is such a good deck. It's just, sometimes they just don't have room for this card. But we have room by being free to play. That means we play the level 3 tuner. So Squire is a great way to summon that level 3 tuner. You make the Squire Saga. Squire Saga could banish a Shiranui to destroy a back row card. Turn 1, if you don't have a Sun Saga play, you might want to summon this to then banish the Squire from the grave to draw a card and discard a card. That's what Squire does when being banished. Also, when your opponent goes, then goes back to you, you now can destroy their back row. It could also destroy monsters if you banish itself or another synchro. All the back row is just free-to-play stuff that you could get for free. You could use whatever back row you have. So if you have Canadia, Sphere Kriba, whatever, use it instead of this. I like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror just for the free-to-play version because there's a lot of dark decks on the ladder. It'll negate dark monsters on the field and or in the grave. Or you could just discard it with the Raigeki Breaker, the Hollow Life Barrier if you don't have that certain matchup. That is pretty much the deck. I don't want to make your head spin with all the combos, all the plays, reading all the card text. Just the basics. You want to turn 1, Sun Saga, get Spectral Sword in the grave, Synchro, make your Samurai Saga, try to make a Shogun Saga with your Solitaire in the grave or just a tuner on the field alongside your level 6 to get buff boosted. Big attack, indestructible. It's also worth noting if you do not summon Sun Saga on the first turn, which this is a good card to play 2 of if you want to take out the Nether Soul, because you could summon it again later in the duel. On summon, it will return any extra deck monsters that are banished or in the grave to destroy equal amount of cards on the field without targeting. So this is also a great removal card. That's the deck. Best free-to-play deck. Shiranui free-to-play. Go in on it. It is perfectly safe to do so. The ban list just happened. This deck is amazing. What deck we climbing a cog with? Maybe a free-to-play deck would be good. What you think? What you thinking? Squire Saga. So we'll just go for the shade. But we know that if he could make an Ascalon, we're not in a good spot. We would not be helped. But we could draw a card now. Draw a card, feel things out. Could make Sun Saga next turn if nothing happens to her. And here's the thing. If something were to happen to her, then something would have happened to the Sun Saga. Use that logic and reasoning for making the Squire Saga. Boost. And get poppin'. Draw a card, discard a card. Very good. And just like that, we top T. And we could pop his back row. Beautiful. Militum. Okay, we have no disruptive back row. Nothing. Lance. Unaffected. Hollow Life Barrier will protect us from this fool if he gets big enough. But he's not going for that. He's going for the plays. He's going for the plays. What do I think about Lightsworn with Light Imprisoning Mirror? There's not enough light monsters for me to justify Light Imprisoning Mirror, but feel free to play it yourself if you think that would work out well. Why not? If you're losing a light decks, then play Light Imprisoning Mirror instead of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. But I do think most of the decks you play against will be dark. For example, if you go to Duel Links meta, you don't even have to go on the tier list. Just go to the top decks page. What are the most popular decks? Blackwings, dark. Rampage Dragon, dark. DDD, dark. Dark Magicians, dark. Vajra. Is Raigeki free to play? It's in the same box as Shiranui. So it is free to play because it's in the same box. Okay, this will boost and destroy. Now, remember when I said if something were to happen to Squire Saga, that means something would have happened to the Sun Saga? This is that rare situation where nothing would have happened to Sun Saga, only if he were to have summoned an Ascalon. So does that mean the Squire Saga was an incorrect summon? No, it means he made an unoptimal play, not by a misplay, just by his hand not being as good. And we're just happy. We got exact lethal. That's it. Free to play exact lethal. Well, come on, Dragon's Mirror. I didn't want to use you, but I mean, I could use you too. Whatever. Now, Squire, if you read Squire, Squire says for the rest of the turn, you can't summon zombie-type monsters. That's the rest of the turn, not the turn. So we don't want that to happen. We want to summon first, then summon Squire. Now, we could pop. We don't even have to pop. Okay, we don't have to. We don't have to, okay? We could have. We could have. You would. You should. But just to show some more plays and make our opponent think we're misplaying when we're actually not misplaying. Level augmentation, boost up the field. Get boostin'. Remember, can't Dragon's Mirror after this play because the Nether Soul Dragon looks like a zombie, but it's not. It's a dragon. It's in the name. Sun Saga, now the whole field is indestructible per Shiranui in the grave. Do you see the power we have by being free to play? This is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. This is insane. This is madness. Of course he's got nothing. Lethal. Now, we're going to play one last duel at this, and I'm going to swap decks. Get Squiring. Get Squiring. So I do think we want to go with the turn 1 Sun Saga, okay? So summon the level 2 tuner. So we're free to play. We're restricted a bit, but that's okay. This deck is still amazing. Boost. Reveal. Turn 1, free to play Sun Saga. Indestructible. Per Shiranui in the grave, the Sun Saga cannot be destroyed because we banish. And with the Spectral Sword in the grave right now, that means next turn we could make a Samurai Saga and draw a card and discard a card. and also a Dragon's Mirror. With the Spirit Master, we could destroy a face-up card in the field, make a 3,000 attack. Indestructible against Triple D. Let's go. The Raigeki Break is from the same box. So if you are missing the Raigeki Break, another good card is Countergate. Countergate is good. So as you can see right here, if you're missing Raigekis, you can play Countergate. Countergate is from leveling up Dark Side Dimension Kaiba, I believe. That's a good replacement for any missing Raigekis, even though it's in the same box. We're not going outside the box at all. Everything's either a free source that's not from a box or it's from the one mini box. Now, this sample deck list breaks my rule of only going through a mini box twice. He goes through it 3 times. My rule for free to play is 1 box. If it's a mini box, you go through it twice. If it's a main box, you go through it once. What we could do is we could make a Shogun Saga. Shogun Saga is going to be large and in charge. Now, by doing this, we lose our temporary protection from the Sun Saga. So this would be a good opportunity for him to snipe us with a card before we discard with the Squire. But it's too late now. Now we're back to being protected. Back to full protection. We're going to normal summon the Spectral Sword. We are free to play, by the way. Free to play, by the way. Let's go. Come on, man. We are free.